pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. That was the original text of the Pledge of Allegiance when it was written in 1892. On its 125th anniversary, let's take a look at what it meant to the man who wrote it and what it means to us today. A Pledge of Allegiance. What's allegiance? It's loyalty, but it's more than mere loyalty. It means serve. Serve your country. This is a two-way street. Serve on a jury if called. Vote in an election. Join the military if that's your thing. Something as simple as working as part of a community board. But help. Show up and help. Participate. Make this country work. That's allegiance. To my flag and the republic for which it stands. The flag is a representation of your government, your nation, to you. The republic for which it stands is the other side of that. That is the government representing you to one another. We are a democratic republic, democratic lowercase d, meaning democracy. We freely and directly elect our own leaders to represent our needs, cares, and desires, to determine the best way forward for the situations at hand. The Republican method of government, with a lowercase r, is all those leaders join in a joint assembly and work through a deliberative manner to figure out those best ways forward. Not arbitrary, not tyrannical, deliberative. That's the way the country is supposed to work. One nation indivisible. Francis Bellamy, the man who wrote the pledge, was born in the 1850s and grew up during the Civil War. Saw firsthand how badly torn apart this country was from that strife. We slaughtered 620,000 of ourselves in that battle. More deaths in the Civil War than all the other wars this country's ever fought combined. But it didn't work. Despite all that strife, we stitched ourselves back together in the 27 years between Appomattox and the writing of the pledge. We made life better for just about everybody. One nation indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. What's liberty? Liberty is freedom, but it's a constrained freedom. Freedom means you can do anything you want. That isn't necessarily a good idea. But a constrained freedom is constrained by the Constitution. The Constitution is a framework that our government is run with. All of our laws guiding how we can do things, reasonable limitations on what we can do, derive from that Constitution. Deliberative, not tyrannical, not arbitrary. But also, that Constitution guarantees various freedoms. Freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, freedom to worship as we please, freedom to not worship if we so please. Critical things that just did not exist in very many places in the world, certainly not in the way our government was designed to run. Those are critical pieces that make our country great. That's the liberty part. Justice. What's justice? It's equality, but again, it's equality and fairness. Equality means that no matter what you do for a living, no matter how much money you make, no matter your skin color, no matter your faith or absence thereof, you are no better than anybody else. We are all the same. Fairness pulls back in the Constitution and those laws. So regardless of what laws we have, you are to be treated fairly, now that we've already established equality. for all. Do you see where it says that all those things are guaranteed only for white male landowners aged 21 or older? It actually did. Back when we first formed our country, that's all who could vote. But we changed that. Through our deliberative process, we made it so that not just landowners could vote. Later, not just whites. It has not yet been 100 years that a woman can vote in this country. Deliberatively, we changed those things. So there's no qualifier on all. All means everybody. Now let's talk about some of the changes we've made to the pledge over the years. The first happened in 1921 when they added the phrase, they added the name of the country. Bellamy wasn't too fond of this. He thought it made it unnecessarily long, wordy, it didn't flow quite as nicely, couldn't be said in under 10 seconds. That was one of his objections. He grudgingly went along with it. He died in 1931, so he wasn't around for the second change. That happened in 1954. The Soviet Union, which was on our side during World War II, had a falling out with the United States afterward. And also about the same time, China, which we called Red China, had a revolution in 1949. Both of those nations had communist governments, tyrannical, and one might even say arbitrary, but more importantly, atheist. They had an enforced atheism, and that combination of communism and atheism, not being able to worship as you chose, scared a whole bunch of people in this country. Scared them enough that they asked President Eisenhower to add 2 words to the pledge. Bellamy would not have gone along with this at all. He would have had a fit, because I didn't mention that he was a Baptist minister. He was Reverend Francis Bellamy his entire adult life. He actually grew up in the church. His father was a minister. He firmly believed in the complete separation of church and state. Given that, he thought he had it clearly in mind when he wrote the pledge. Not only would he have objected to those words, he would have objected to where they were put, because he knew that there was no worse way to split a country than to insert religion into its political discourse. Those words should be removed. If you go back to the pledge as it was originally written, I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Contest Chair.